Hope everybody's having a good start to Saturday. Coming out of scrimmage, you got good work today. Played basically a first half and change with some different situations there at the end. A third overtime. Got a couple 2-minute situations that showed up. Just really trying to force the guys to the mental awareness of how a game's going to flow. And I thought they did a good job for the most part. I thought the defense was dominant today. The first drive, the offense was able to go to get down and score a touchdown. Lost contain on a couple of rushes, quarterback scrambles. Things that we've got to improve on, and obviously eliminate those mistakes. But the response from the defense was really good, and offensively, not very sharp today. You had more penalties, pre-snap penalties, mistakes, missed assignments there throughout the scrimmage, especially in critical situations. Some guys that haven't been in the rotation are kind of forced into some action. Had some early rookie mistakes. I thought we had also some missed opportunities there offensively, and as you go through it, there's some really good things that we saw from the offense in the first scrimmage, and your defense had some mistakes. I thought they got corrected today. Much better in the open field tackling. There's still some tackles that we got to get down, but especially the first group, I thought it was much improved from that aspect. Guys that have performed and played well throughout the spring, for the most part, are continuing to grow. Jermaine Johnson, Fabian Levitt, both really kind of stood out. Dennis Briggs, I thought had some good plays, but it's really McClendon. I thought all those guys were working hard up on the defensive front, creating some havoc. I thought it was a positive day for what we saw defensively, and got to continue to build and grow off of that. And then the things offensively that we have to get corrected. We've got to see that. We got to see that response. Next week's going to be a little bit of an adjusted week. We're going Monday and Wednesday. Coming off this scrimmage, with Good Friday and Easter next week, we're going to be off on the weekend. So that's our plan for the week moving forward. But with that, we're going to open up questions.
First question will be Chris Nate from Noles 247.
Hey, Mike, are you discouraged by the offense, or is it just kind of what you expect at this point in the spring with install still going on and a lot of pieces missing right now?
You want to see, for a football team, you want to see the back and forth. You don't want to see one side, constantly getting after the other. You want to see the response from from each individual player and each side of the ball. And I thought, really, last Saturday and days surrounding before and after, the offense has been kind of getting into a really good rhythm. Then Thursday and today, I thought the defense has responded well, continuing with installations, some different looks. But at the end of the day, you've got offensively, it's about the consistency of your fundamentals. Making sure that you're staying focused on your assignment, what the situational is, what the situation is asking for. And you've got to eliminate the mental mistakes that put you in long yardage situations, and too many of those showed up today. And some of our young receivers look like young receivers today, and that hasn't been the case throughout. But we've got to respond to hear this next week.
Hey, Coach, following up on your comment about the receivers, it looked like a couple times a guy might have slowed down on a route that could have been open. Was I seeing that correctly? What do you attribute that to?
I'm gonna go back and see all of them on tape. That happened on a few instances, but those are things just play in and play out. Like I said, we had some missed opportunities, or some landmarks and places that we needed to be that we didn't get to, and then we had some missed assignments that really can't show up, and they usually were showing up in those critical situations. We had a couple pre-snap penalties on third and mediums that made it third and long situations, which are tough to extend drives and get into that rhythm that you want to see there offensively. Really, we're limited, didn't have many big plays or explosive plays. And so, it was, like I said, it was a good day for the defense. For our young skill position guys, they're gonna have to continue to grow and accelerate that. I thought there were some positive runs that we saw out of our running backs. When they did get to the perimeter, a couple really nice cuts. But all in all, we've got to get better.
Could be Antoine Staley from Tallahassee Democrat.
Yeah, Coach, going back to what you said about the good runs, I thought Corbin ran pretty hard today, especially catching the balls out the backfield. So just talk about what you saw from him today.
Yeah, I wanted to see some extensive work from Jay Sean. Last week we kind of limited him on just the rep count. He'd been had a really good set, and I wanted to see some of those young backs get some good work, and they did. But Jay Sean, I thought, did a really nice job today. With and without the ball in his hands. He's a great leader. A guy very consistent. Wasn't perfect in all things that he did today, but he's definitely extremely consistent. It means the world to him, and every day he's showing up, but showed some really good flashes. Had some explosive runs and catches there out of the backfield.
Coach, does it feel like the defense won the day, or do you think the offense just wasn't executing the plays that were there to be had?
I mean, the defense won the day. And the reason why it doesn't, they did what they needed to do. At the end of the day, if you don't execute offensively, defensively, and special teams, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're hurting yourself. And if somebody executes really well, and you've got to do your job and still win the reps. So, yes.
Next question will be Brennan Seminoles from Noles 247.
Hi, Mike. Going back to your opening statement, you mentioned a couple of the defensive linemen who were really, really strong today, Jermaine Johnson, Fabian Lovett. But I want to get your thoughts on some of the reserves too, like Quayshawn Fuller seemed like he flashed, Drew Thompson, just the depth from that defensive line. How important is that going to be for you guys, for everyone across the board to be making plays this year?
And the challenge for that next group of defensive linemen is just the consistency of what they're doing. The flashes, they've had those, but it's the consistency in the reps and the consistency of being where you're supposed to be. Making sure that if you have contained, you keep contained. If you have a gap in the run game, you not only can you put yourself there, but you got to win your gap. And then if the ball comes your way, you got to make the play. But I am seeing growth from those guys. We just need the consistency, play in and play out for what they're being asked to do. And I think that they have a chance to really make an impact if they will continue to develop and buy into those little things, and given an elite level effort. We know we have some other pieces that are coming in that are going to challenge for those spots, and but I do see growth. We just want that to be more consistent.
Next will be Chauvel.
Sorry. You guys do have a lot of guys banged up on both sides of the ball. Is this an abnormally high number of injuries this spring, or is it about normal?
I kind of can't remember. It's been so long since I've had a normal spring. So we've had some guys that that have gotten banged up in some cases. Some guys coming into spring just with injuries that they had through the fall, and continuing on the rehab part of it. And it's we're working. Our guys we're really close on getting a bunch of guys back that today, if it wasn't a scrimmage, probably would have got a little bit more work than what they did. But we'll make sure that we get guys where they need to be and continuing to push, continuing to develop. But should get a good number of guys back here this next week.
We'll back to Gene.
Coach, it looked like Tate had some nice throws out there today. Can you talk about a little bit how much he's progressed the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think Tate's making great strides. His investment in the meeting room, his investment, in the work there on the practice field. Really trying to absorb as much information as he can. He's a talented young man. Excited about what his future is going to be. You look at those young quarterbacks. Him, Chuba, Geno English, who's also got some good work. The other guys, they're working hard to grasp the big picture and really be able to take control of the offense when they're out there. But I've seen some great strides from all of them, from the mental capacity of what they're able to absorb, but then working to be able to apply that when they're out on the field. And I think we're seeing the benefit of that with tape.
We'll go back to Avalon.
Coach, looking at McKenzie, it seems like his eyes were moving pretty well. He was scanning the field, going through his progressions, but maybe not triggering and throwing the ball. I mean, are you seeing him getting a better grasp of where the ball needs to go? And maybe today was just, defensive backs just having tight coverage?
Yeah, that definitely showed up a little bit today. I think he's getting a better understanding. There's still a couple reps where, his eyes scan, maybe not exactly where they needed to be from the initial read, but, he sees the field really well. You're seeing a lot of the same things with Jordan. Jordan is those guys, the confidence in where to be, where to look, and then the next step of the progression is something that we want to see happen. And there were a couple of times I thought that McKenzie's eyes were absolutely in the right place, and whether it was a lack of separation or pass rush that forced him off the spot. I mean, sometimes those things are going to happen. And, it's just continuing to believe and work through those different looks and, put the ball in the right spot when we get the opportunity to, but make sure that our eyes are starting and we be as quick as efficient as possible when we're back there.
Go back to Ira.
It seemed like there were some miscommunications between the quarterbacks and receivers, maybe mostly the younger receivers. Have you guys added more to what they're supposed to be reading at this point, or why do you think that fell apart a little bit?
No, I mean, it's with what we do. Obviously, there's installation with you each week, and we really haven't put a ton in, but there has been some new. There has been a new group of install, here throughout the course of this last week. But the looks change, and there's a lot of versatility in in our offense with what we're doing for routes, for what we're doing in spacing, formations, all things like that. And so as we try to stretch these guys to the positions we're putting them in, but also the reactions of what they need to do based off the looks that they're seeing, that's something that does take reps, and making sure that we see the right call, get the right communication, and then be able to apply that and react to whatever shows up there post snap is big. And we'll see further growth, and just like I said, some of the young receivers look like young receivers today, but they got to challenge themselves and take the meeting room out there to the field and building the confidence of what they've got to do.
Go back to Chris Nate.
Mike, I was wondering about special teams, just what you think about it to this point in the spring, how guys are kicking it, how Alex punted it, things of that sort.
Alex definitely responded today with his punts. I thought there were a couple locations that he's got to work on, but I thought the ball was coming off his foot really well. And Alex has had a good spring ball. There's been good days and bad, but he's pushing himself, and we're pushing him to be his best every single day. Mixing up different things we're asking him to do. I thought the field goals. I mean, it was good to see. I know Ryan hit a plus 50 yarder today, which was good to see. And but we did have we had a couple breakdowns in our protection on our field goal team that we've got to get corrected. But we're evaluating all aspects of our kicking game. And we get a lot of fundamental work from the guys that are in the skill positions. I like the buy-in that I'm seeing. I like the guys that are working to be a complete player, whether it's a wide receiver, running back, defensive back, linebacker. Guys that are getting an opportunity to earn their role and show the importance of who we are with the impact in special teams. And so the buy-in's there when it comes to that. We're continuing to push guys to challenge themselves with each rep they get, regardless of what units it's going to be on.
All right, thank you, Coach.
I think, guys.